Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Pennies and Salt. I'm Megan and I am a homeschooling mom to 6 kiddos ages 10 and under. Today's video is actually part of a collaboration with my friend Katie over at Life in the Mundane, and it is all about some of our favorite family read-alouds. So our family loves to read, and we have actually done read-alouds since my oldest, who is 10, was a baby. So even when he was a baby, I would read to him all the time, and this all kind of spawned from my experience growing up. My stepmom was an avid reader, and she really instilled that in my sister and I, my older sister. Even into like middle school and high school, she would still read to my sister and I when we would be at my dad's house, and it was just a special time, and I wanted to pass that on to my own kids when I had kids. So here we are, read-alouds. So I'm going to be sharing just a few of some of the ones that we've really enjoyed. I didn't even really know where to start when I was asked, to share my favorite read-alouds, because there's so many that we've read over the years. I'm sure, well, actually, I know I'm forgetting some. One of them I forgot to grab, I will go ahead and say, and that is The Trumpet of the Swan. It is just an excellent book. We enjoy it so much, and we've actually read it twice. So that's the first one, I guess. So if you're not really sure where to start as far as read-alouds and things with your kids, we have instilled this in our children since they were little bitty babies, but some little tricks that you can do that I do if it's one that's maybe a little difficult for younger kids to sit and listen to, is I will have them do something quiet with their hands while they listen, whether it be coloring, drawing, whatever. We do a lot of draw what is happening in the story while I read it. We do a lot of that, especially for our read-alouds that we do specifically for a subject in school, mostly history. So that's kind of how we do it, but it's not a video about that. It's a video about what our favorite read-alouds are. Now, I, for one, cannot wait to check out the playlist to see what some of these other mamas suggest as their favorite read-alouds. So make sure you check out that playlist I'm going to put down in the description below, along with Katie's, because she is our host and I love her channel. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with what our favorites are. Okay, so I just randomly grabbed one out of the series, but my boys especially love the series called Ranger in Time. So Ranger is a dog who finds this emergency pack, and it shifts him back in time, and he has a specific thing that he has to do to kind of save the day, so to speak. And he always transports at some point in history. The first one we ever read was about the Oregon Trail, and it was fantastic. And that's kind of what got us hooked on Ranger in Time. So I grabbed this one. I actually don't think we've read this one. I picked this one up at a used bookstore. And I think this is one of the ones that is on our shelf waiting to be read. But it is Escape from the Great Earthquake. And so it takes place in the big earthquake that happened in San Francisco. So it does actually take historical events, and it's kind of a fictional account, but with some truth to what happened during that historical event. So my kids love it. It kind of transports them back in time with Ranger. So Ranger in Time, great series, especially for some of those boys that may be a little more reluctant to either read or listen to a story. So this is a good one. The next one is actually a Christian book series that's kind of along the same lines as this, as being transported somewhere, kind of like the same thing as Magic Tree House. However, my kids do not like Magic Tree House. I think we tried to read one of those and it just was not a hit around here. No offense to anybody or those books, but it just didn't jive at our house. And so this is actually, my oldest loves these books. I think this is the first one in the series. Yes, it says book 1. But these are kind of on a biblical basis. So this one, it says, Peter and Mary find themselves floating in darkness before the world was made. Follow along as they witness the creation of the earth, meet them Angel Michael ride rhinos and elephants and battle a sneaky snake in the Garden of Eden. Can they solve the secret of the scroll before they get stuck in the past forever? So this is another one. It transports them back in history kind of thing, but it's biblical history. So this is a really good one as well. So check out that series. Okay, so the next one, this is, if you are familiar with the singer and the Christian singer and songwriter Andrew Peterson, that is who wrote the next book series, and it is the Wing Feather Saga. This is the first book in the series, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. So this was on my to read list for a really long time. It sat in my Amazon cart forever. And then when this whole pandemic thing happened, Andrew Peterson actually was reading this aloud each night on Facebook. And I assume that those videos are probably still up. Well, when we were trying to watch it live on Facebook, a couple of nights in a row, there was some like issues with it going in and out, and so we missed sections and stuff like that. So we went ahead and we loved it so much that we went ahead and we just hurried and we ordered it and we read it for ourselves, and it is really good, you guys. I highly recommend this one, especially if you like anything adventure driven, if you like any of the Chronicles of Narnia books. It almost reminds me of like almost like a kid version of Lord of the Rings. So, think that kind of like adventure and stuff like that. So, anyway, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting this right. But these books, there's some like funny stuff. He comes up with just like silly names for things. And, I think that is due to the fact that I'm pretty sure I have this right, but I'm pretty sure he ended up publishing these, but these were originally bedtime stories that he made up and told to his children. So make sure you check out the Wing Feather Saga. Okay, so the next book is a book that I loved as a child, and it is just so silly and fun to read as a family, and you got to do the voices. So that's just what makes it even more fun. That comes totally from my stepmom as well. But I love Roald Dahl. Of course, he wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He wrote Matilda. He wrote James and the Giant Peach. We love Roald Dahl also. So I recommend this one. There was a movie made about it, of course. What great book doesn't have a movie about it? But anyway, but the book is so much better, and it's a great incentive to read a book to your kids and then say, hey, and then we will have a family movie night when we finish it, and we will watch the movie. So we love the BFG. Okay, so the next one, this book is so much fun. We've actually read it twice, but it is Homer Price. We love Homer Price. So each chapter of this book is basically a different story about all of some type of antics that the boy Homer Price gets himself into. So it's just really fun and kind of silly stories. So what's nice about it is that each chapter is a separate little story about Homer and something that he does. So the first one is the case of the sensational scent. And so this chapter in itself is a little story. And what makes that nice is that your kids, when you finish a chapter, they're getting to finish a portion of the story because each chapter is its own little story about Homer Price. So this one is a really good one. It's especially appealing to my boys. But my daughters love it too. They are convinced that they're going to catch a skunk like Homer and keep him as a pet. And I'm over here like, no. Anyway, so Homer Price, I do highly recommend that one. And all of these books I will link in the description box down below as well. The next one is a near and dear book to my heart. So I love Charlotte's Web. I think our family has read this 3 times, maybe. Yeah, I'm almost positive it's 3 times. But this, I can't even tell you how many times I've personally read this book. This is probably my all-time favorite children's novel. I fell in love with this book in 2nd grade when we did this in like a reading group I was in 2nd grade, and we had like a Charlotte's Web party at the end of it and made a Wilbur piggy bank out of Quaker Oat cans, and I still remember it so vividly, and it was because I just fell in love with this book and this story. And Charlotte's Web is just a great classic, so make sure that it is on your bookshelf. And the very last one that I'm going to share, like I said, I could share on and on and on and on, but the very last one I'm going to share today is actually, this book is huge. I'll have to tell you about this book, but anyway, it is The Little House on the Prairie. So the series, The Little House on the Prairie. But what's really cool about this is a hardback special read aloud edition. So I actually found this at our used bookstore. This is just a great series, and it's definitely a must on any bookshelf. So I hope that this video was helpful for you today. Make sure you share your family's favorite read-alouds down in the comments down below, and I will see you on future videos. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day.